Hi, we've just doing a quick video in relation to an issue with a fiber to the premises. So we've got a customer in a fairly old apartment built in the 60s in Des Moines. The situation that we have is it's a fairly large complex, but long story short, where we are here, there is basically from the wall socket in the customer premises, cables come in. This is an old type of NBN connection, just obsolete now, but we do see it in a lot of old buildings. A couple of things to mention. The cables are technically twisted on these rods and basically linked. So this is where it comes in from the customer, and that's they looks like they ran another 20 pair from basically 20 cables from here to the front of the building where all the connections are coming. So it's been upgraded at some stage. So this is the old panel, there is a new panel, but in order to get the existing cables, which is all of these ones running to each individual apartment, they use this old type, which is not quite sure why they've done it at the time. But anyway, now I've got a customer, we're having a problem. We've managed to detect the signal from their premises, and when we came to here, I can detect the cable. So that sound just tells me that the wall socket to here, it's fine. Now his cable was connected to one of these sides, but it looks like there is an issue with this particular side of the unit. And what I've done just for testing, I've managed to track a brand new pair from the front of the building, which I'll show you in a second. And I've actually connected it directly, which is not the right way, but I'll fix these later on. But I'm just doing it for testing purpose. So I've just basically overridden this side. I've connected, now I'm to here, I'm getting a very good signal. I need to be able to go and do the same from the other side and then connect it to where NBN brings the internet. So it's something called the C pair record. So I'll go to the other side and I'll follow up with another video. Okay, so where I am now, I am at the front of the building. The cable that we've managed to locate from the customer premises is coming all the way to here. So that's the cable. Now, this is what we call the C pair. Very common. NBN gets your service connected and you get an email from your service provider saying congratulations, your service has been connected. This is a reasonably small apartment, but what NBN does, NBN will give you something called the C pair record. So something looks like this long line, and then it will give you a port number. So in this particular customer, they are on port number 14 according to the record that they've grabbed from the service provider, and the service provider will give you this. Now what I've technically done is I've tracked the cable from the customer premises to the other box that I've showed you before, and then because there is an issue with that, where I was testing on the original cable, which is just here, I was getting a very faint signal. So one of two things: either there is a bad connection, corroded, faulty cable, God knows. So I said, you know what, let's just not try to run new cables. We'll try to steal another cable that is available. So that cable was empty, there was nothing connected here. So I've connected to this cable. I've got a signal, I've got a very strong signal that sounds to me like a good sound. Now I will connect this cable from here to where NBN has allocated the port 14 in this particular scenario, and that technically energizes the wall socket. So again, cable comes in from NBN. This is where NBN provides you a service. Every customer gets allocated a point. The cable goes from here, or from wherever the port is allocated, all the way to the customer premises. Usually there is no other box in the middle. In this particular apartment there is, so you always got to go back and fault find and trace the cables. Now that's a small complex in that side of things. We go to shopping centers or big building apartments, and these might be 500-600 of them in some places, and much bigger network than this, but it's a fairly tiny complex to what we normally work with. But yeah, we usually get a lot bigger than this. Now I'm gonna tag it, I'll go back and I'll test from the customer premises, and I'll give you an update shortly.